Welcome to Broncos HQ. It's week 2 of our new preview show, getting all of Broncos country ready for the road trip. I'm your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez, next to Hall of Famer Steve Atwater. The Broncos head to Indianapolis to face the Colts after they improved to 1-0 on the year and come off a tremendous defensive performance, 6 sacks, 12 QB hits, 0 touchdowns allowed. How do you see this defense elevating even more in week 2?
They're going to have to elevate because, this Indianapolis Colts team, they looked very good offensively last week against the Miami Dolphins. And, Tyler Warren, the rookie tight end out of Penn State, he's making plays. And, your man JT, Jonathan Taylor, is making plays. And Daniel Jones, he's revived. He's the new Daniel Jones. He played a really solid game as well.
Yeah, when you look at Jonathan Taylor's numbers, he averaged 89.5 rushing yards per game in his career. He led the Colts with 18 carries, 71 rush yards in week 1. This defense has to slow him down. How do you do that, and who does that?
Well, it's going to take everybody. Obviously it's going to start up front with those guys controlling the line of scrimmage. And if the defensive lineman can control the line of scrimmage, if we can contain them, make sure we keep them inside the tackles, I think it'll be a much easier. Well, it's not going to be easy either way it goes, but because he's such a dynamic running back and they do a great job with the blocking schemes for him. But if the defensive linemen can do their part, I think the linebackers and safeties should be able to corral them.
Yeah, the Broncos allowed fewer than 20 points in 12 games since dating back to 2024, most in the NFL. When you look at this offense and, the big game that they just came off of, I feel like the run game getting early on our side is also key, not necessarily to keep up, but to make sure that you're striking, you strike fast.
Yeah, and, if their offense starts to play well, then our offense is going to have to play well to make sure that we keep their offense off the field. I thought what our offense did last week, it wasn't bad. A lot of people are complaining about it, and they're being hard on Bo Nix. He had a couple of interceptions, but nobody's. I didn't expect them to be in midseason form in the first game, especially considering how the small amount of plays that the offensive players play now in the preseason. So I think he's going to continue to get better each and every week, though, and this offense is going to do the same thing.
Well, a big part of the Broncos' run game is running back JK Dobbins, who's already made an impact. I caught up with him to talk about how the team looks to build upon week 1, how he's fitting into the offense, and more. You notch your first regular season win and your first touchdown as a Bronco. How have you felt as you get more comfortable in this offense?
Felt great. Definitely blessed to be here on this team and a part of this organization. That's amazing. The ownership, the coaches, the players, everything's amazing. So very blessed to be here, and it was great to get a win. We got to do better, but a win is a win, and a touchdown is always a blessing too.
How have you seen your game grow?
I see it growing exponentially, not only in the run game, but the pass game too, especially with Coach Sean Payton. He does a great job of putting us in the right situations. And so that, and then my run game, I'm going to up that. It'll be better this week. So, and it'll keep getting better each week. And I think Broncos country will love it.
Now, you aren't the only one to show your explosiveness. RJ Harvey did the same. What has impressed you about him?
He's talented, of course, but, whenever I try to help him, he listens, right? He's willing to learn. He's humble, and he's a great guy. So I'm always rooting for him, especially because I'm his vet, and I think I should take that personal because my vet when I was a rookie was Mark Ingram, and he took it personal to take me under his wing and make me a great player. And so that's what I'm trying to pass it down to him. And then hopefully when he's year 6+ in, he could do the same for another rookie, So, and I just want to win. So he can help us win, and that's where we're going with it.
You're on your way to your first road trip of the season. What's the mentality to get this run game going early?
The mentality is do whatever it takes to win. If it's a run game, pass game, anything we got to make our plays. And I think we got the guys to do that. We just got to put it all together. Sometimes it's hard because they got a really good defense as well. So we'll see. We're going to try to do it.
Now, this Broncos defense is coming off of a great performance. How does it help you prepare for a team like the Colts when you go against that defense every week?
Yeah, it helps us a lot. Yeah, that defense is great. That was one of the reasons why I chose to come here, because I knew how great the defense would be. Last year they were good, this year they're even probably better, so that's saying a lot because they were like the best defense last year too. So it's great, and then it helps us for preparation, especially all camp, and then in practice we see the best. So it helps us a lot.
Well, for the first time since week 14 in 2021, the Broncos had 2 running backs with 60-plus rushing yards. Getting that run game early is really important, but seeing the offense really bounce back from week 1, I think, is even more important.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be critical for the offense to come out, not turn the ball over early, also to have some sustained drives. I thought the first drive or two, they did pretty well, but then it seemed like they kind of got out of sync with one another. But fortunately, they were able to put points on the board. I'm not expecting them to be in mid-season form right now, but definitely I expect them to bounce back, limit the turnovers and penalties going into this next game.
Yeah, and I think the entire offense really praised their defense and what they were able to do, because I think when you look at the overall picture of week 1 and the way that this defense was performing, 0 catches allowed by Pat Surtain on 34 coverage snaps. Nick Bonito had a career high 9 QB pressures. They had 12 QB hits, and 6 of them were split between Zach Allen, who had 3, and Nick Bonito, who had 3. So I think when you have a defense like that, it allows the offense to get a little time to kind of build itself up.
Yeah, it definitely does. But you also want to make sure that you hold up your end of the bargain. They're going to be much better this week. If the defense can come out and have a similar performance than they had last week, man, this is going to be a great game for Broncos country.
Well, it's that time of the show where each week our Hall of Famer will pick his dark horse of the game, the player he feels will have an impact in week 2. So, Steve, who is it this week?
Well, instead of a dark horse, I'm going to pick 2 dark horses. I'm going to go with both of the safeties, Brandon Jones and Talanoa Hufanga. These guys are going to be critical to stopping the run, getting up there, tackling Jonathan Taylor, making solid body-on-body tackles, and also covering the rookie tight end, Tyler Warren, the rookie out of Penn State. They're going to have their hands full, but I think at the end of the day, they're going to have a great game and they're going to come out victorious.
Well, the Broncos look to go 2-0 for the first time since 2021. Well, we are off for our first road trip of the year. That will do it for Broncos HQ. I'm your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez, next to the Hall of Famer, Steve Atwater. A reminder, the Broncos-Colts game kicks off at 2:05 p.m. Mountain Time, and we will see you next week.